Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Friday, March 23rd. Tragic Master is saying tavern brawls are an easy way to get victories. Sort of, sometimes, depending on what the tavern brawl is. I've decided to just skip what has been a little bit too much of a struggle on the Asian account, and so now we're on the European account. I need 5 victories with the Major Shaman, and I need to play cards that cost 5 or more, and play 75 Battlecry cards. So, Mage and Shaman, we're at rank 22. That's part of the thing, is I want to get this stinking rank up. Like, I don't want to end the month at rank 22. So we've got an Overload Shaman deck here. Let's try and play this. I'd like to get 5 victories on ranked play and get up to rank 20. And if I go and play the Tavern Brawls, and if the Tavern Brawls prove to actually be a little bit more helpful, which they often are, because particularly on the Asian and European account where you don't have any cards, playing a Tavern Brawl will give you different cards and give you a deck a lot of times that have been specifically designed to be more successful. But then also I find a lot of Tavern Brawls just waste your time as much as playing ranked does. We're going over games. Here's a game that must actually be good. Like, I've started to just follow every game that's come out on Steam, and very consistently you'll have games that just have no reviews on the first day when they come out, which is about the only time I can see it, unless I was to build up, I guess maybe I could build up some weird system where I had a rolling list of games and I waited a week to talk about the games to see if they had any reviews on them. But I don't think that really even matters. So this game I'm looking at is called Ash of Gods, Redemption. It is rated very positive with 88% of 51 users, and the 51 users is more impressive than the very positive. I am seeing a cutscene of a battlefield with a lot of dead bodies, except for like 5 soldiers trying to stand against this guy that has all this like ash on him, kind of like a Kratos ripoff, but he's a skinnier guy. And instead of fighting these people, like, the 5 soldiers stabbed themselves and released some kind of magical light out of themselves. And then they got turned into ash, so I don't know what they were trying to do or if they succeeded. It's like this enemy has some major magical thing. This is supposed to be a roguelike storytelling game. Now the cutscene is over, because that was just a cutscene and it looks good, but there I'm seeing a square-based tile, almost pixel, almost pixely game. Seems they have chapters, because it says chapter 5s. Says there's no game over screen. Seems to have some conversation sections where you talk to people and play a story, which hurts the replayability of playing a game if you're gonna have to do the story. It's got some old school pop-up menus of choices where it's like, do you leave the tavern or do you stay? Hit 1, click 1 to leave, click 2 to stay. Let's see. Deal 8 damage to a minion. Let's see, this video is really long too. It's like 2 minutes. Yeah, this is a real game with real advertisements and real polish and screenshots that aren't completely black and dark. But the main game, when you get away from the different RPG elements, seems to be a tile-based battles. It might be something similar to the Banner Saga. I know the Banner Saga has gotten really popular and I've never gotten around to actually being able to use it, play it, and now it's coming to the Switch too. I know a lot of people liked that game. Yeah, this feels like it's at least in that style. Let's see. Maybe this was in early access for a while and that's why people know about it. It was rated Best Game 2017 by White Knights Moscow and Best Art. And it was a 2018 GTP winner and some nominations on top of that. There are some real awards, it seems like. Let's see. The first review is, if you've played Banner Saga, you know what to expect. So far, this game is often an engaging and compelling story and meaningful choices. The game promises that no matter who dies, even the main hero of the story goes on. The setting is great, as you can see from the promo and screenshots. I have 2 complaints about the game. No voice acting. This is annoying grunting sound when characters speak, and the dialogues could have been better. So this is one of those weird games where if you played the Banner Saga, I'd heavily recommend checking out Ash of the Gods. How much is it? It's $25, Ash of the Gods Redemption. However, if you haven't played Banner Saga, and this is already on my wish list, so I had wishlisted it earlier when it was first announced or in early access. If you haven't played the Banner Saga, I'd heavily recommend playing the Banner Saga first, because that would be the better game. And it's very possible that you would play the Banner Saga and not feel a need to play anything else after that. Let's see. Lemon Lover says, anyone know about what's going on with Sephora? Nope, have no idea what you're talking about. Won't be discussing anything about that. Let's see. I'm looking at a game called Crucial Throw. No reviews. Came out March 23rd from a developer called Brain Duck. This is the only game they've ever published. However, even though it is 8-bit graphics, this trailer already shows a level of care and interest over what you normally would see for bad games. Yeah, I'm gonna lose here. Like, surprise, surprise, I'm gonna lose. This looks like it's a fast-paced, like, player versus player, local multiplayer fighting game, which I've seen several of them, so I'm not sure specifically why you'd want to play Crucial Throw. There's too many other games that would be better. It's in early access. They want $5 or $4.50 right now, 10% off. Yeah, there's better versions of a local multiplayer only game And while they are trying, and this isn't one of those games that I just immediately call a fake game, it's just a poor decision to try and release what is effectively a clone of games that have already existed on Steam and are better. Like, you really in the PC world cannot get away with making clones. Like, in the old days, really old days, where they were selling clones of Pac-Man on floppy disks in grocery stores. Like, for a while that was actually happening. You could get away with that. But now you can't. Like, it's all on Valve. Everybody knows it's on Valve. Everything's on Steam. Everybody knows everything is on Steam. There's no getting around it, or tricking people into buying the wrong one. The grocery store comparison is an interesting comparison, because video games definitely being more art than a can of corn. You can in a grocery store have the store's brand can of corn that is cheaper than the national brand of the expensive can of corn, and you can make sales doing that. You can't do that in video games. You can't have Bayonetta 3 come out and then cheap ripoff of Bayonetta that isn't as good and nobody's gonna really want to play come out. Too many reviews, the consumer is too informed, and the value and price of buying games is too high. Even if you're selling your game for 60 cents, the amount of money a gamer spends in a year is very high on games. Gamma Sutra has an article: Super Robot Wars X Special Scenario Masao Kenshin has a 7-minute gameplay video. I'm not going to watch all 7 minutes of it, but we can skip and see how this is. It doesn't look that interesting as far as a game. Looks like an RPG in a mech. And you kind of just move your mech around on a board. Boy, that 7 minutes of gameplay that I just clicked through looked like 7 minutes of boring nothing. So barely spent five seconds on that. Here we go. We've got a game called Bitcoin Mania that came out March 23rd. It's 40% off for 60 cents. It is the 5th game released by the developer on Steam called Hella Nazi. Is it Hella Nazi Games? Hall on Nazi Games. Hella You Nazi Games. Maybe that's it. If this is an asset flip, which it probably is, at the very least, it doesn't look like all the other asset flips. You've got a guy running around and dropping Bitcoin gold coins on the ground. By no means am I saying you should actually play this game. I'm just saying, at least this looks like somewhat of something that they could get screenshots out of to make it good. We have one review. Let's see what the review is. Not recommended. Don't waste your money. No gameplay, no strategy. Deep as a puddle. Bugs everywhere. Worst use of camera ever seen. No fun at all. There we go. Nice review to tell you not to buy this game. Which obviously you shouldn't buy any game with Bitcoin in the name or any cryptocurrency in the name. So yeah, still a fake game, but not as fake of a fake game At least it doesn't look like a fake game. Some of them don't even try. And I imagine you're probably as successful, if not more successful, if you don't try. Because you are really just trying to sucker in the dumbest of the dumb people ever when selling these things. It's like the spam emails that are written so stupidly that only people with actual mental problems would even fall for them, because these scammers only want to really deal with people with actual mental problems so that they can scam them. If you're even a little bit suspicious of a spam email, they don't want you to go any further, because they probably won't have as high of a rate of success scamming people like that. So I imagine, just to say, on top of saving energy and time, it saves them frustration to make fake games actually look like fake games. Lemon Lover except for my game, Sour Yellow Fruit Coin Simulator 2K19. Definitely buy that one, says Lemon Lover. I'm gonna go type that into Steam and see if that really exists. Let's see. And see if I've... Steam... Let's... Let's see. Let's see. Sour Yellow Fruit. Nope. It doesn't. 2K19. There's nothing with sour yellow fruit on it that exists. It says not yet, but you can pre-purchase it. No, it's not on Steam. Playthrough. Honestly, no, I would not play a live playthrough through a game that a fan made as a wholesome troll joke, because it would just not sell well on my channel. It wouldn't be funny except for that to me and that one fan, and nobody else would want to watch it. If I'm going to cover a weird, obscure game, there has to be a better reason to cover it than, oh, I'm covering it because I happen to sort of kind of know the person who made it. That's the problem with like PewDiePie's game, and I recently did a spotlight on the Angry Video Game Nerds game. It's like, they're not good games. So the core problem there is your video game critics, and you should at the very least know not to release a bad game with your name on it, and they did. And I think that happens a little bit too often. I also think that video game critics and news reporters often get in bed with other video game creators and become voice actors, and it seems like that is a violation of ethics, in my opinion, because you're now working for the people that you should have a very distant professional relationship with. You shouldn't get in bed with them and potentially make money on the success of a video game company that you're going to criticize in the future. Moving on in stories, Senran Kagura Burst Renewal DLC characters have been announced through a trailer. Now, I believe Burst Renewal is the newest regular Senran Kagura game. And Senran Kagura is... what do you call it? It's kind of like Dynasty Warriors with ninja girls, with big boobs, anime girls, and they have a full Sailor Moon-esque your clothes tear off transformation scenes that I'm looking at. Not really showing anything, but definitely being lewd and definitely implying things. It's a shame that YouTube has gone the way it was, because personally I would play a game like Senran Kagura series, which is on Steam, but like, why do it? It would just get me a community guideline strike and risk my channel. And even if my channel was monetized, it would be, these videos specifically would be demonetized. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we'll see if Burst Renewal comes out to the West or not. It may not. In any of those anime games, they always have like the little sister character model, somebody who's a little bit younger than what they would like, and or what the West would like. So despite the fact that it all being just cartoon girls, that still offends too many people apparently in the video game industry. Let's see. Lemon Lover says, yes, Rydo said it. Senran baby. Implying what things? It was implying the transformation, implying that they're nude, showing all of their nude bits in the transformation sequence. I'm not sure you really need to review a Senran Kagura game either. I would make maybe an exception for Peach Beach Splash, because that is kind of the closest thing you could get to Splatoon on PC. There really isn't another like paint-based game like Splatoon. But I mean, there's plenty of first-person shooters, and Splatoon really is just a first-person shooter. And like Peach Beach Splash is them running around with squirt guns, so it's sort of close, but just in the fact that both of those games don't have actual guns and aren't actually shooting things. So that might be a game that might need some coverage. But the main Senran Kagura game, you just say it's a Dynasty Warrior games for perverts, and you know what you've got. Like, and I don't think you need to cover it. I don't think that there's gonna be this deep, intricate storyline to it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Senran Kagura series has a long-running deep storyline to it, but I doubt it. I'm looking at a game called Crazy Dreams: Best of. It's from Dreams Studio, which has another game called Crazy Dreams Magic Cats Edition that's free to play, but this is $8. It's rated positive 100% out of 10 reviews, and it's like the 100 best levels made by the community, and it's a well-animated platformer where you play as a cat that seems like it has the ability sometimes to climb on the ceiling and go upside down. And 50% of the revenue apparently from this game is going to the creators, the community creators that made these levels. This is an interesting idea, certainly, assuming it's true. Uh, honestly, this game does not look bad at all. Let's see. So I'm gonna add this, but I think you would be much better to play the free-to-play version and try it better that way. Crazy Dreams. Let's see. Like, whether you would want to buy the best over collection, a lot of that comes down to the free-to-play edition, I say. Let's see. Crazy Dreams Magic Cats is a 2D sandbox platformer with a twist. Create your own levels, tricky and hilarious puzzling. So it's kind of like Mario, like Mario Maker. I see. That makes sense. And it looks like it is a decent Mario Maker clone. And it's free to play. And it's early access. Interesting. I was a little surprised that there wasn't a Mario Maker game clone. Like, and the difference between a Mario Maker clone is that Mario Maker isn't on the Steam store. So cloning a Nintendo game on Steam is a well-honored tradition. Here's a negative review. There's not too many of it. One says, I mean, it's a cute cat game with potential, however, as of right now, there's not enough to make the game worth sticking around. My little sister even played it and got bored easily, so if it can't keep an adult and a kid, then what audience is it for? Another thing to keep in mind, your building resources will eventually be depleted, leaving you in need of actually purchasing more materials. Oh. So there's a problem. Like, the actual resources to build things are not unlimited. However, you still would probably be in a good position to play the free-to-play version before you played the 100. Next negative recommendation was, I couldn't recommend this game. It's too buggy and it's unplayable. The tutorials don't make any sense to me. Let's see, blah blah blah. It seems like it's a little bit buggy, this game. So it might be an interesting way in which they've released a free-to-play beta version of their game. And then they took the 100 best levels from that free-to-play version and made a better game in the best of. Interesting. It's an interesting way to develop your game and still make money. I'm not sure if that would work. But looking at all this programming, there's like actual programming that you can do for the enemies and telling them whether they want to attack or not, it seems. Like, it's very interesting idea. If somebody knows of a better Mario Maker clone out there, perhaps there is something, a better system. I just gotta play this. So yeah, I'm gonna wishlist Crazy Dreams Magic Cats edition and the best of. And I don't know when I'd ever get around to actually playing a free-to-play Mario Maker clone, but it's there. Next game we have is The Last Sigil. Came out March 22nd, 2018. 4 user reviews, leaving it at 50%. It looks like a top-down dungeon crawler, 8-bit animation, roguelike game. Well, I would assume roguelike. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna win here. See, the problem with this game, The Last Sigil, is there's games like Enter the Gungeon that are better known and doing the exact same thing. Like, there's too many dungeon crawling games already out there, and I don't think that there's really that high of a demand to have a new dungeon crawler come out every 3 months. I think you can just play the same game for years on end. Let's come look at the reviews. I can't recommend it in its current state. It's just boring. I'll refund now. Lurk a while. See if it gets better. Good luck. This game, it feels rather unintuitive and clunky. Every skill you use locks you in place, and the AI pet will soon find it is just gonna steamroll over hordes if you dodge the hordes of mildly homing magic arrows. Let's see. Should have frozen this guy. Yeah. It's $13 to buy The Last Sigil, no discount in early access. I see no reason why you would want to buy this game. This is the only game that's been released by this developer on Steam. And while it really doesn't do anything wrong, it really doesn't do anything special or right. If it was the first dungeon crawler roguelike top-down game I'd ever seen, if this was like my Diablo, I could see people liking it, but there is real Diablo out there if you want to play a dungeon crawling game. There are better things to play. So I can't recommend that one. Let's see. Chat's still moving. Let's see. Lemon Lover said, "Oh, come on. We all play that game, Rydo. You had to throw out the P word." And he means pervert word. Yep. Well, yeah, it's not me, it's YouTube. In fact, YouTube's gotten crazy with gun videos lately, and so now a lot of videos showing the assembly or disassembly of guns are not allowed on YouTube. Pretty much any channel built around that have guns in them at all are going to be kicked out. YouTube is just going to get crazier and crazier until something changes, until the people in charge are no longer in charge, I imagine. Because it's just getting crazier and crazier. And so those gun channels now have gone to Pornhub, and now Pornhub is this ever-growing collection of other type of videos and channels that have nothing to do with porn. And honestly, yeah, maybe if I had enough extra time and enough subscribers that would jump over to Pornhub, I might play a game like Sinrin Kagura on Pornhub. But I live in a world that does have limited time, and I have to try to be family friendly and have mass appeal. And in general, I try to be family friendly anyways. I'd much prefer to have more Lego games on my channel. The experiment in playing Honey Pop, which is on my channel, did not work well because of YouTube's demonetization at all. Nor did it really work well to bring in random new people. And so yeah, going down that route isn't one. I think they have better audiences too. I do mention Senran Kagura a lot because Japanese developers mention it a lot because they make a lot of games. So I do give them a plug every now and then and advertise them, but that's kind of as far as the channel can do. And Twitch is no savior as far as puritanical thinking, because Twitch is just as bad, if not worse, in those aspects of limiting and limiting what games you can play. That being said, I am at some point going to start uploading videos to my Twitch channel. We need to start seeing. Maybe it'll be in the next 30 days or so. I'm gonna see if that brings in any new people. I'm getting new subscribers roughly 2 or 3 a week. That still really needs to jump in crazy amounts though, because I'm only at like 250. And does that mean 16 years of running this channel before you get to 1,000 subscribers? At my rate, that kind of is what it means. And it's highly unlikely I would stick around and make content for even a couple more years if there isn't an increase or an improvement in some things. Because it's just going to wear me down, honestly. All the YouTube BS, all the drama, all the identity politics garbage, like, that happens all over it, all the politics and general garbage. It's just gonna wear me down. You see these people they're saying delete Facebook. I'm gonna be saying delete YouTube in a couple of years if things don't improve. If I can't get more people to subscribe regardless. YouTube, by the way, directly confirmed that the subscription button and the bell apparently only guarantees that you will see people when they are live if you click on the bell and say all notifications. But the bell seems to never ever guarantee all notifications of pre-recorded footage. And that is very weird, and it seems to work slightly different for YouTube Gaming's app than the YouTube app, because the YouTube Gaming app does seem to mean the bell seems to give you all notifications. So the way they seemed for it to actually want to work, and who knows if they change their mind and change how it works tomorrow, is clicking the bell on a YouTube channel and saying all notifications means that the viewer will get all notifications of when that channel is live. And if you don't click all notifications, you might get a notification if you'd been watching that channel recently enough when somebody goes live. And you might get a notification when a pre-recorded footage video is released. But that is all algorithm based, and it has nothing to do with whether you say you want all notification or not. Which, that's just insane, and that's not what all notifications means. Like, if you're saying specifically you want all notifications, you want all notifications. And literally, as YouTube was explaining this on YouTube Insider, or Creator Insider is the channel that was talking about this, they said, nope, like, our customers have told us specifically that they don't want what they want. They want what we want to give them. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, your head is so far up your own butt, you don't even realize how stupid what you just said is. You literally just said, when a customer says they want all notifications, they don't really mean they want all notifications. That's ridiculous. People aren't that stupid. People actually do mean what they say. I refuse to live in a world where people are so dumb that they don't mean what they say when they're asking for something. Or, at the very least, you should just give them what they're asking for, even if it isn't what they really want. And so, yeah, there's no way to get all notifications of a channel. There's literally no way. Meanwhile, the algorithm is pointing me to more and more stolen videos and TV shows. I came across another channel, 22,000 subscribers. All they post is stolen videos. Like, content they have no right to post. They're doing no fair use, no commentary, not breaking up anything. It's just straight up, here's an entire episode of the TV show per upload. So, what was the idea of kicking out all those small YouTubers that had less than 1,000 subscribers? Because it didn't work. You didn't kick out any of the people who should have been kicked out. And the ads were running on that channel, definitely. That was a mistake. Oh well. Ark Survival Evolved is coming to the Switch, so yet another platform is getting the unfinished game Ark Survival Evolved into sleazy business practices. I'm just gonna go through the news here and just post show. It's gonna be the longest post show we've had in a long time because we are not getting any victories at all. Nothing whatsoever. And this is driving me crazy. Like, these daily quests need to change too. A big amount of my frustration, like half of my frustration every week, which I'd like to live a week where I wasn't frustrated at all, but half of it's coming from daily quest on Hearthstone sucking, causing me to play way more than I'd like, and YouTube BS. And YouTube making it harder to succeed as a YouTuber. I'm looking at a game called The Adventurous 4. It has one review. It came out March 22nd by NLB Project, which has also made Return of the Red Riding Hood an Enhanced Edition, The Barbarian and the Subterranean Caves, and Wild Island Quest. So it seems like they're making games based on old fairy tales, which isn't a terrible idea. That's one of the things that makes me wonder, like, why it's a non-linear text adventure made by a Russian group. I'm almost certain because there's Russian in the there's Russian in the dialogue. It seems like this is all just Korean, cheap Korean animation though. Like, this is a fake game, but it's got that Korean animation fakeness to it where, yeah, it's just ridiculousness. Yeah, I don't see any reason why anybody would want to play this game, but if you wanted to see an example of where using Korean animation can make something look just a little bit better than a MS Paint, but not good enough to be even a good early generation 3D model, this would be a great example of that. Apparently Steam thinks it's similar to Reigns, which I don't agree. And they're selling it for a massive $3 with 25% off. Let's see, one review is by a YouTuber with their YouTube video. I've thought about doing that, just putting reviews directly, links to video reviews in the review of the game. But I don't think that would actually get me any views. Like, let's see. This guy got the game for free, so he's probably a friend of the creators. Yep, I would not recommend the Adventurous Floor to anybody. Hirogashi no Nekun Kori ni Hao for the Switch has a debut trailer. I'm not sure if I already saw the debut trailer on this one. Let's see. Desperately trying to play something with taunt, I guess. This is that visual novel game where the animation doesn't look that good. I wouldn't be surprised if the reason why this one's coming to the Switch versus any of the thousands of others is because it's not heavily in the modern animation style. It's some softer lines. You're not going for anything extreme. If the story isn't that extreme also, this might be an attempt to introduce people into visual novels without scaring them away at the same moment. Yeah, the trailer doesn't tell me anything at all. Let's see. It's coming to the Switch in Japan on July 26th for 8,000 yen. We'll see if it switches over to the West. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Like, I really wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. Umi Niko no Neku Korai ni all-in-one package has been announced, and all 8 episodes of a visual novel, I believe. Both visual novels titles were originally released for the PlayStation 3, so they're probably coming to the PlayStation 4. If I was to guess. Here's this is a Gamatsu announcement that has less information than Gamatsu announcements usually have, because at the very least, like platforms, release dates, prices, any of that should have been announced before they said anything whatsoever about it. PC Gamer has an article, After Party, the game about out-drinking Satan, gets its debut trailer. Let's see what this looks like on the trailer. Well, I'm playing 5. Well, After Party looks like an actual game. And I've been looking at too many bad games lately. It seems like it's a kind of adventure game where you get drunk in a bar. Oxenfree. Yes, it looks very much like the game Oxenfree. It's from the creators of Oxenfree, that's why. So you're walking down an area and the conversations are just happening sometimes, instead of you having to trigger a conversation or click on something. Well, the thing about Oxenfree is, from what I could tell, it told a decent story. So Afterparty's coming in 2019. If it tells a decent story, even if it's kind of short, I'll be alright with that. Like, I don't think it probably won't blow the video game industry out of the water, but it will do alright by it. So there's a game called The Famous Diver, came out March 22nd, no user reviews. What's funny about this game is if this was an old NES game, this would probably be pretty good sales. Because it's swimming up and down as a diver, avoiding things. It's kind of Flappy Bird, I suppose. Might be the modern equivalent of a game like that, where you're swimming against the current and fish are coming upwards and downwards and there's mines everywhere. Like, I could see what they're going for. This is 40% off for 60 cents. So if you wanted a sea-based Flappy Bird, at the very least, you could say this is one of those fake games that's trying to stay up with the trends a little bit more. Let's see. Looking at the number of games that have been released by this developer, there is a large collection of games that have come out that are rated negatively. So I imagine this is not something you'd actually want to buy. But I would applaud them at least staying in their lane. Like, this is thematically consistent. The graphics don't look great. It looks like something you would get in the 80s. Something you might get in shareware in the 80s. It's ripping off Flappy Bird effectively well, I would say. But yeah, I wouldn't also spend any money on it, even 60 cents. Like, there are some good games that have gone for 60 cents. And more and more, I feel like I need to, let's do this. I need to raise my expectations even for free games, even for cheap games, because there's just so much garbage coming out. This is going to be the last game, by the way, of this recording. So, PC Gamer has an article, "A giant pair of scissors is the weirdest controller we tried this week." At GDC, there's a bunch of games where you play with some experimental different types of controllers and inputs. So none of them will ever mean anything or come out as actual controllers, however. Nobody's going to buy new controllers unless it's a very generalized controller like the Vive. Like HTC Vive controllers or a new Xbox or something like that controller. We're just making no progress at all. Like, no victories. I'll probably have no problem having some extra daily quests once they start giving you card packs for the daily quests, because at this rate I'm just gonna have daily quests done, not done at all. And right now I'm exhausted and I just want to be done with the stream, and then we've got to go for at least another 45 minutes, I think, just to cover the news. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. If you want to support me, gift me a game on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.